Good evening. My name is Randy Fernandez and welcome to City Beat. City Beat is a show designed to inform and educate the residents of the City of Port Huron about the programs and activities that affect their everyday lives. Our topic today is the City of Port Huron's sesquicentennial celebration. And my guest is the chairperson of that committee, Pauline Repp, and the mayor of the City of Port Huron, Alan Kutcher. Pauline, Alan, welcome to City Beat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I know what the sesquicentennial celebration is all about, but we're here today to tell our viewing audience. What exactly does that word mean, Pauline? And I won't ask you to spell it.
Sesquicentennial means 150 years. The City of Port Huron will be 150 years old on February the 4th. That will be the actual day that it was incorporated as a city. So that's what the sesquicentennial is all about.
So this is a big thing for our town, 150 years next year in 2007. How long has this committee been working on this project? And tell us a little about the organization of the committee.
The committee was formed approximately 3 years ago. Our first meeting, I believe, was in October of 2003. And at that time, it was just calling together volunteers, trying to get an idea of what the community would like to do. Mayor Kutcher had suggested that we have this committee, and it was passed by the City Council. And we just asked different people to be involved, and from that formed a committee, all of volunteers. We've been working hard since then, getting community ideas and things that people would be interested in doing to celebrate all year long.
Now, Mayor, I know you have an influential way with people. Pauline says 3 years that these people have been meeting. That's quite a dedicated volunteer force. But a number of our shows deal with partnerships, how Port Huron has been able to partner with other organizations to get them through, whether it's hard times or on a project. It sounds like this was a great partnership that was formed. Can you tell me a little bit more about the partnerships?
It really was a partnership. We asked for volunteers to come forward, and we got volunteers from almost every organization in town, from the Chamber of Commerce and the Atchison Ventures, and the Citizens First from WGRT. The list goes on and on. I mean, you shouldn't start naming them because you always miss some. But we ended up with just an absolutely great group, very dedicated. And they have indeed met not only every month with the main committee, but in subcommittees, you know, week after week they have been meeting and making plans for the entire year. I should add, because I know you had trouble with the word sesquicentennial, it is my goal.
But that's our second take, though, so they took that out. So.
By the end of 2007, I want everyone in Port Huron to be able to say sesquicentennial and to spell it also.
And to say it with pride that I can see that you and Pauline have today. Well, Mayor, again, take me back 3 years ago. You know, it's coming up, you know, sooner than later here. This show will probably air the end of October, so a couple of months before our celebration starts. What did you envision back 3 years ago what would happen in the year 2007?
I envisioned, and it was just, you know, a foggy dream. Yeah, I knew it was a special occasion that was coming up. I know it's the only time in my lifetime I'm going to get an opportunity to celebrate something like this. And I envisioned really a year-long celebration, almost a year-long homecoming for everyone, to come back to Port Huron, to have the reunions in Port Huron, to get married in Port Huron, you know, just to celebrate the fact that Port Huron has indeed been a city for 150 years. Most people don't realize that Port Huron is indeed a very old city. It's over 300 years old, 15 years older than the city of Detroit. But we were a number of small little villages. It wasn't until 1857 when we joined together as a single city. And I think it's a milestone in our history that we ought to celebrate, and celebrate every day throughout 2007.
Well, Pauline, you've been given the envious task of leading this three-year committee. Is there a theme behind it this next year?
There is a theme. Celebrate our past and imagine our future.
And what does that, what should that mean for a person like myself and my family that have been born and raised in Port Huron?
Well, I think that people should be proud to be Port Huron residents and celebrate those things that have happened to make Port Huron a great place to live, and to think forward and think of what can be done for the future and where we're progressing to.
Well, there's no doubt we've got a great heritage, and there are many things that we can tell about our past. But I think what's also bright, you know, when you look around the city and you see the Desmond Landing project and other things that are going on, that we do have a bright future here in Port Huron.
Oh, I believe we do. Yes.
And I know, Mayor, you've given the envious task of, again, going forward with what can happen and the positive changes that can happen in the future for the city of Port Huron.
There are a number of positive things that are happening in the city, and you look at the Atchison Ventures, and that really is just kicking off, I think, a number of things that are happening within the city. You look at the investments being made, whether it's from Port Huron Hospital or Mercy Hospital, the E&A Credit Union, the new building. There's one building after another going up in Port Huron. And there is a movement that's going on, and I think we should be celebrating all of that.
And Pauline, the mayor mentions Atchison Ventures and all that they're doing. They are one of the supporters of the of our birthday celebration next year.
Yes, they are. They, along with some other organizations, we had the very beginning, Atchison Foundation and Citizens First Foundation, Community Foundation, and Port Huron Hospital Foundation all were very generous and contributed some money for us to get this whole celebration started. So,
well, it
yes.
sounds something this big. You need a little bit of seed money with the things that we're going to talk about here later in the show.
Yes, yes, and we do, you know, that was very important, and we appreciate their contributions. So.
Well, Mayor, how are you going to kick this off? I mean, we're a couple months away now, so what is the first event that really, Pauline just gave us the theme. How is that going to be incorporated, and what is the first event for next year?
We're going to kick it off with first night. Lori Sample Wynn has been very generous with working with our committee to incorporate her event into the Sesquicentennial theme. I'm going to personally kick it off at the first night by doing wedding vow renewals, and we'll have a special certificate for the Sesquicentennial for anyone who renews their wedding vows down there. I'm out shopping now for the appropriate outfit to wear from the 1800s. I haven't quite found it yet, but so we're starting it out with first night. We're also going to end with first night. We thought it was an appropriate beginning and end to our Sesquicentennial celebration.
Well, Pauline, first night, we've had Lori on the show before talking about first night. That was something started in Port Huron just, I think, 3, 4, 5 years ago. But that's really a great idea to kick it off with first night, because I've been to that event and it's just grown every year.
It is a good event to start the year off with. That way it starts right exactly on January the 1st, can go right through till December 31st of the following year, so you have a whole year. And it's a family-oriented event, and that's what we would like a Sesquicentennial to be. It's to celebrate family and heritage, and that's a great start to it. I think she's got planned a lot of entertainment that night that will focus around historical types of things. I don't know exactly individually what acts she's planning for that night, but I know that they will be conducive to that theme and to the time period. So
Pauline, we've got first night kicking it off December 31st / January 1, 2007. Right. Okay. Lead us into. I'm hearing things on the radio and in the newspaper that have been coming out about a gala celebration sometime in February, and I believe that's associated with the Sesquicentennial also.
Yes, it is, and that's going to be held on February 3rd. We wanted to make it so that would have been great if it had been on the exact date, February 4th, but it just works out that it's more convenient to have it on a Saturday night, which would be February 3rd at the Thomas Edison Inn, and that will be a gala event. Tickets would be purchased for that, and they are $150 a couple or $75 individual. And it should be a great night. There's going, at that time, and this kind of steps into another area, but we will be showing a DVD which has a history of the city of Port Huron and different people who have lived here for a long time. It's very interesting. And they will be on sale that night along with a book. Also, there will be a band that night. There will be some characters that are from historical characters that will be circulating throughout, and it will be a fun evening, so we encourage everybody to come to it. It'll also be somewhat of a fundraiser, obviously cover costs, and anything that's left over will be go toward the committee, and we are working on doing some community art projects, that type of thing. So.
Here, Pauline mentions the gala and that some community art projects. Are the proceeds going for art in the city of Port Huron?
My goal is that we'll be able to have a statue someplace, probably in Heritage Park on the Quay downtown, to celebrate our sesquicentennial. My hope is that the funds from the gala will be able to be used towards that event.
Now, is the gala you mentioned, is that kind of the, besides first night, the kind of the two big kickoffs to get the year going with a bang? You say it's also being used as a fundraiser, so those funds, besides community art, helps the process going?
That's true. It does. It helps for that. It's also a kickoff for the year. And it's just one of what we hope to be many events that go on all year long. And we have encouraged and are still encouraging, so other organizations in town that put on events, annual events, to use this opportunity to focus their event around sesquicentennial as their theme or you know, some way to include it in their event.
And I guess there's about 350 people that we're hoping to attract to this event again on February 3rd, 2007 at the Thomas Edison Inn.
Yes, we are hoping for 350 people to come.
So we need 350 of you out there, right?
That's right.
So, well, it makes sense. You mentioned $150 a couple. Everything,
Yep.
again, surrounding around that theme of 150. Again, celebrate our past, you know, imagine our future. Mayor Pauline mentions a video. What's that all about?
One of the projects that the committee got involved with was trying to figure out how to put into the record the history of Port Huron, the future of Port Huron, and what we came up with was a video that we have published it locally here in town. That'll be available in time for Christmas this year for Christmas presents. People will be able to buy that along with a book, and I know that Pauline will be talking about that in a minute. The video, I think, and I'm biased, I think it's absolutely great, showing, you know, about Port Huron, about our heritage and about our future, about some of the people that are in Port Huron. I think everyone will absolutely enjoy the video that we have to offer.
Well, I mean, are we going back to when the Indians arrived here, or anything about the lighthouse? What are some of the things that might be incorporated in the video?
Part of it that we're incorporating in it are about the heritage that we have in Port Huron. It's about our lighthouse, the oldest working lighthouse on the Great Lakes, and part of it's an interview with Bob Hamford from the lighthouse, and just absolutely great. And there'll be a number of interviews like that of various people throughout the community, and some of the activities have some of the heritage that we have in Port Huron.
Why don't we take a minute? We have a clip of the video. Well, let's show one or two of those to our audience. And again, I think the first one we're going to see is about the lighthouse that you just mentioned.
Oh, excellent.
So let's watch.
Excellent.
Okay.
Here's a Port Huron Sesquicentennial Minute. The first lighthouse to be built on Lake Huron was the Fort Gratiot Lighthouse. Rufus Hatch was its first lighthouse keeper. He had to climb 3 ladders at the original lighthouse just to tend the lamp. It must have been too taxing for him, because after only 6 months on the job, he died. Bob Hanford is a longtime tour director for the present Fort Gratiot Lighthouse.
Okay, this is the oldest lighthouse in Michigan. It was built in 1829. They started this lighthouse in April. November it was done. They turned the light on. It's been operating ever since. They came back in 1874 and they built the duplex that's here now. And then in 1900 they built the new foghorn building. And the 3 buildings today are on the National Register as historic buildings. Consequently, we're going to try and preserve them, keep them in the best shape we can for as long as we can.
Port Huron, 150 years. Celebrate our past, imagine our future.
Mayor and Pauline, that was quite exciting. That gets my juices flowing to reach in my checkbook for that $150.
Well, we hope so.
We'll take it right now.
to come. What a great idea! Though being done like in a 1 minute clip, that's something that possibly could be shown throughout the school system, Pauline, to let you know, the kindergartners or the seniors in the high school know what's going on in our town.
I think that's probably might happen as well.
Is that right?
Yes,
Great.
and as well as that, there will be what's called sesquicentennial, and I almost slipped on that one, minutes, and they will be broadcast on the radio stations throughout the year, and giving little clips of things that have happened historically, and I do believe they'll probably be broadcast also during the year.
Well, again, I think it was John Hill on the committee that put that together and has put a lot of time in it, so let's give credit where credit's due, and it looks like he's done a fine job.
He's done an excellent job for us.
He has. He's done a wonderful job.
And again, I got to say this for you, Mayor, on time and on budget, right?
That's absolutely right.
Always, always when you deal with the city for your
Absolutely.
Pauline, the book. You know, we've just talked about the video. I think the video and the book go hand in hand.
Yes,
Can
they
you
do.
explain to me a little bit about the book?
The book is an historical compilation of different things. It goes into transportation, schools, churches, government, all the different areas that are affected. And there's a very hard-working committee that has been volunteering their time and doing a lot of research about the city of Port Huron and all the things that have made it what it is today. The book is going to be mostly a pictorial. There will be obviously text in it too, and it's going to be a coffee table book, hardcover, something that you'll want to keep, something that you'll want to buy for your family or friends, people that have lived here before, moved out of town, or even for people enticing people here. I think it's a wonderful, tribute to Port Huron's heritage. The book and the video, as you said, will be available for Christmas, for presents, and we're offering a special price up through Christmas, if I may say.
Sure.
You can buy a combination of the book and video for $35, or you can buy the book alone for $20. At this point, we're not selling the video alone. That will go on sale after the first of the year, so it's a special. If you get it in advance, you will get the bonus of having the video before anybody else.
Very good. Mayor, you and Pauline were kind enough to invite me to a meeting, and you showed me the first 20, 25 pages of the book, and it really does, like Pauline says, a nice pictorial. So it's not just all, all verbiage. It's great pictures along with great writing on there. What an idea, like Pauline mentioned, for Christmas, to send it to like my parents in Florida that have been lifelong residents but have now moved to another state. Again, the video, and there's something again that you like a keepsake that you can keep around and show your children and their children.
Absolutely. I was telling the committee, I know everybody in my family is going to get one this year, plus everybody that I know down in Chiquimula, our sister city, when I go down in February. That's the gifts that I'm taking down for the mayor and the city council down there to show them what Port Huron is really like.
Well, there's no doubt that with the book and the video, and from what I understand, Pauline, if I go into our library system, our public school system, anywhere, there really isn't a lot of history or recent things that have been done like this book and video.
No, there has been in the past books that have been published for quite a number of years, but it is time to dust that off and pull a new one out, and I think this is going to be a very nice contribution. And I'm sure the library will keep some copies of it, and the school district.
I'm sure they'll be approached to put them in not only the main library, but the 11 branches of the library system. So,
Yes.
We believe also that a number of companies may want to buy them as gifts for their employees this year. That's why we were pushing to have it out in time for Christmas, that they'd be perfect gifts to give to your staff at any place.
well, you speak of gifts for Christmas. I mean, besides the book or the video, I'm sure a ticket that would come to me or others for the Sesquicentennial Gala.
Yes.
I mean, would be a great Christmas present for somebody.
That's true.
Yes, it would.
Maybe
Yes, it
not
would.
from the city, but, you never, I got to plug that in.
That's
You never know.
If I could plug the pre-sales too, we are encouraging pre-sales of the book and the video, and they're not available at this time, but we are taking the orders and the money. We do need the money up front because we have to order the appropriate amount of books. And at the present time, you can visit our website, and further information will be out there. But if not, you can contact my office, City Clerk's office, City of Port Huron. You can either come in or you can call 984-9725 and we'll give the information. They'll also be offered for sale once we have them in stock at the various locations of the Main Street and the Chamber and the Tourism Bureau and the museum. Those are all places that they will be available to get them that we know of right now. That might change. We might have even more. We're trying to look into some things now where you possibly can order them even online.
And I heard a rumor that a press release was going out shortly, and I believe maybe October 23rd or shortly thereafter, they will be available, as you mentioned, at Main Street, the Tourism Bureau, your office, the City Clerk's office,
Correct.
and the Chamber of Commerce, I believe, if I name those four
Yes.
correctly. So.
Yes. all of those organizations have been volunteers on this committee and have given a lot of their a lot of time and effort into this also.
Now, Mayor, the gala again sounds great, and you know, $150 a couple, and that's fantastic too, centering around that theme of 150 years. But how do I get my children involved? Let's say they don't have $150. I don't want to bring them with me that night. Is there going to be, as Pauline mentions, most of these things are done for the family. Is there going to be some type of citywide family event or events in 2007 that are either free or little of no charge to the public?
There will be one other event that'll be a citywide event, very low cost, and we're still working on the details, but we're going to tie it in with the fireworks that Atchison puts on the last Saturday in June. And not really sure what the details are going to be on that, but there will be a citywide event, very low cost for everyone. We're encouraging every family, every organization to design their own sesquicentennial event. You know, your church should be working on its history and working with its neighborhoods there about the history of the neighborhood that they're in. Family reunions should be planned for next year. Weddings should be planned for next year. If you want to, somebody wants to have a baby, we'll take those too. Right. We're going to have certificates for any organization, any reunion that gets in contact with us. We'll have a certificate for participation in the sesquicentennial. So we encourage those family events also. We encourage the children to really start talking to their parents and their grandparents about their heritage and about their family, and about what it was like in the 1850s, if they can find out from their relatives going back far enough. My great-great-grandfather would have been 27. And I just realized the other day that I really don't know what he did for a living back in 1857 in Port Huron. So I'm starting to research that now. I know my father was a bootlegger, and knowing my family, he was probably a bootlegger also, but not sure.
Pauline, the mayor mentions trying to get these other organizations involved. So, as an example, so like in March, St. Patrick's Day. So possibly the St. Patrick's Day parade or theme around that will again be about our 150th birthday celebration?
Yes, we're hoping for that, and we hope for that in the St. Patrick's Day parade. We also know for a fact that the Rotary Parade that's held in July, Boat Week, that is definitely using the theme in its entirety, Celebrate Our Past, Imagine Our Future, as their parade theme. So that will be held the week of Boat Week, and I believe it's the 18th of July, if I'm not mistaken. And I also understand that Be a Tourist in Your Own Town, which is held every year, is going to be a community-wide event that we always have encouraged our whole City of Port Huron residents to come to, but I think there's going to be a little extra this year, and I think there's plans for a birthday cake and that type of thing at every stop. There will be something. We're going to expand upon that. It's my understanding that even Silver Stick is kicking off in January, and that they're going to do a little bit of a recognition during Silver Stick of this. So we're encouraging everybody to involve themselves in that. There's a lot of activities. We have the Mackinac Race. We have Feast of St. Clair, which is certainly, conducive to that time, that's held in May, and Memorial Weekend. And we're starting to put these out as people are committing to be involved with it in some way. We're putting them out on our website, which I might as well mention at this point, is www.ph150.org. And it is a work in progress, but we are putting more and more events out there, and we encourage local organizations to contact us, and they can do it right through their website, and ask to be on there. As long as they are going to have it as a sanctioned event, it's going to have something to do with sesquicentennial. We're looking forward to it.
Well, Mayor, as the mayor of Port Huron, I'm sure you hear a lot to your dismay that, and it's an old cliche, that there's nothing to do, in Port Huron. And Pauline mentions here, you start off with first night, you're right into Silver Stick. Then you have the Edith Shanerock figure skating. You've got the St. Patrick's Day parade. You go into the Rotary Parade. Miss Michigan, Miss USA. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I mean, without it's not hard for me to do that. It's like there is a lot going on, not only in our birthday celebration year. I'm avoiding saying that word so I don't mess up anymore. But there really is.
Just this year alone, so far, there have been over 350 different events held in the City of Port Huron. I'm always amazed at the number of things that are going on. You know, I try to go to everything, and I have not been able to make 350 different events. But there really are all kinds of events going on in this city. We need to get that word out, and people need to understand that there are lots of things going on with the city, you know, all the way from some of the activities down at Guadalupe to some of the activities at the north end of town. People need to understand there are lots of things. They need to get involved. They need to start paying attention to what's going on. There's a lot to do for every age group in this city.
And Pauline, I know you help in that endeavor because you're responsible for the city newsletter, and a lot of times in the newsletter you put in upcoming events or single out an event and give a little synopsis of it.
Yes, we do. In the newsletter, we do try to highlight the events that are coming up for a 3-month period and highlight the different things. So yes.
And I'm sure that there'll be something about the sesquicentennial celebration in the city newsletter.
Yes, there will be. In fact, be my hopes to have a schedule of events to put into the December issue of the newsletter that would outline everything that is using that theme for next year.
And again, Pauline, if someone wants to contact you or get on the website for more information, because I know you want, if my family's having a big celebration and I want to be part of that, you want to get my information not only verbally to you, but on our website.
Yes, yes, I encourage people to do that. We have 3 different areas. We have the special, the gala, which is by itself on the website, and then we have what's called public events, and then we have private events. So we will list if you're having a family reunion and you want it to be part of that. You just need, there's a form you can fill out right on, just download it on the website and fill it out and send it in.
And then again, that's www.ph150.org.
And
Okay.
that's much easier than sesquicentennial.
Yes, it is. Well, Mayor Pauline, I thank you for being our guest today. I know it'll be a great year because of the dedication that, again, 3 years that you put into it, and again, another year to go. So on behalf of Channel 6 and City Beat, we wish you well in this endeavor.
Well, thank you, Randy.
All right. Thank you very much, Randy.
Well, that's our show for today. We'll see you next week on another edition of City Beat.